Laboratories, so come on in, be comfortable. All right, well, happy Monday, everybody. I'm Brandon Breon from Old Monday, Silicon Valley, and we're very excited about our event this evening. We're happy to have our sponsors, partners, Dolby and Adobe, hosting us, so let's give a big round of applause for them. I also want to give a special call out to my partner on this event, who I couldn't have done without, Maggie Taylor. She's from Dolby right there, she's walking. She's great. So a little bit about Old Monday, Silicon Valley. How many of you are new to Old Monday, Silicon Valley events? Raise your hands. Wow, a quarter of you. Cool. So Old Monday, Silicon Valley, what we are is, we are a nonprofit company. We organize these events once a month. We have a bunch of different products, from CXO dinners to meetups to developer events, ranging from different topics. This one's clearly about mobile audio. Next month we have one on mobile analytics at Google, so I encourage you all to check out the meetup and the Eventbrite when those come out. A little bit of our agenda this evening. So you can find us on Twitter at MomoSV. The hashtag today is MomoSV. We're going to have a presentation from Dolby and then our startup presentations. And also to let you guys know, please put your business card in a fishbowl back there on the Dolby table, because Dolby is actually kind enough to give away 3 Kindle Fire HDs. So make sure you put your business card in the fishbowl for the free giveaways. And thanks to Dolby again for doing that. So this is for Twitter, again, molemonday.us. This is our website. So these are some of our locations. As you can see, we have chapters all around the world. Mole Monday, you can go to any city pretty much in the world where you're at, find a Mole Monday event, and meet different people in the industry. So. Where you can find us, again, molemonday.us. We have a Yahoo group, Mole Monday, and then Twitter. So we like to kind of take a look at who comes to the events. We have an active membership of 5,000 plus, and the average meeting attendance is about 400, so a pretty decent sized group of folks. And the range of different people that come, as you can see, business development and product marketing seem to be the biggest portions of folks that come out. Developers 27%, media 2%, VCs 4%. How many of you in the audience tonight are actually developers? Could you raise your hands? Awesome. Good to see the developers. We encourage you guys to come out. We want to make this interesting for all our developers as well, not just business folks. Some of our previous sponsors, as you can see, a range of different folks all over the gamut. So. And this is our team right here. Again, I'm Brandon Breon. Mario Tapia is our director. I'm sure some of you guys know Mario, and the rest of us. And last, again, where to find us, we're also on Ustream at Mole Monday, Silicon Valley. And again, thanks to our sponsors, big thanks to Adobe for hosting us and Dolby Labs. So before we get started with the presentations, I'd like to ask Todd from SF Music Tech to come up. He's going to give a quick minute about an event that they're doing. So.
Hey, what's happening, people? My name is Todd Tate. I'm the community architect for the SF Music Tech Summit. I'm going to put on my radio voice and tell you about the event real quick. The SF Music Tech Summit 13, this is our 13th event, brings together visionaries in the music technology space, the best, the brightest, developers, entrepreneurs, investors, service providers, journalists, musicians, and organizations who work with them at the convergence of culture and commerce. May 28th at San Francisco's Hotel Kabuki, we meet to discuss the evolving music business technology ecosystem in a proactive, conducive to deal-making, business-to-business environment, and to have a damn good time. We get about 1,200 people at the Kabuki Hotel for one full day, 6-track day. How many people have been to the event? Right on. Not enough. Talk to those people that raise their hands, ask them about their experience. It's an awesome event. We got a 20% discount code, Mobile Monday. Also, if you're any startups interested, there's a startup competition going on. Also, ping me. I'm on the South by Southwest Advisory Board. There's another event, startup competition in Las Vegas later this year if you're interested. hit me up. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you to Mobile Monday for giving us the opportunity to tell you all about our event. Cheers to good music and good tech.
Now we're going to have Jose come up from Mobile Monday and talk about our next event really quick, and then after that, our folks from Dolby are going to come up and speak.
Hi there. So, how many of you have been in Barcelona for the Mobile World Congress? Alright, so you know about this event. Next Monday, we will have the director of the Mobile World Congress here with us in the rocket space, and the mayor of Barcelona. So both we will talk about the new opportunities of the new initiative they are putting together in Barcelona. Barcelona is going to be the next mobile world capital of the world for the next 6 years. They are putting together a lot of initiatives, funding, public funding, incubators, and a lot of other resources for you guys to come over to Barcelona to do some business. So that's going to be the next event this Monday at Rocket Space, and we will send out the presentation, the invitation tomorrow. I think tomorrow morning you will have it there, and I hope see you there.
Okay, so now I'd like to invite our partners from Dolby to come up and speak. So our first speaker from Dolby, if you guys want to come on up, take the stage. Great.
Hello, my name is Mary Anderson. I'm the VP of marketing over at Dolby Laboratories. I do not have a radio voice, so sorry about that. But we're going to make this really quick, and I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Simon Walker, who's going to talk a little bit about our application developer program. Great. So you guys are welcome. Thank you so much to the Mobile Monday team for allowing us to be part of this great event, and to our great partners Adobe for hosting this event. We're very proud to be sponsors here today, and we're excited to engage with you on some amazing conversations around mobile entertainment. And so you're probably thinking, wait a minute, why is Dolby here? Isn't that those speaker guys, or, yeah, no, we don't make speakers actually, just so you know. We are an entertainment company, and more specifically, we're an entertainment technology company. And one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is to work within an industry to create memories, to create amazing experiences that your consumers, that your companies, that your brand can deliver. And so that's why we're really here. It's about creating these things in a mobile environment and really engaging on some amazing entertainment experiences. And I think we all know, especially this crowd here, knows how important great entertainment is in the mobile space. But it's more than just important in the mobile space. There's actually a lot of information and a lot of science behind why sound is so important to the overall experience. So if you're a game developer, or if you're a media player developer, or if you're supporting a service provider delivering great content to a mobile phone or to a tablet, you know that if you are not providing great audio, you're actually delivering a lesser experience. And we're working a lot with the mobile community. Our partners are OEMs, guys like our partners Amazon, well, there's a reason we're giving away the Kindle Fire. It's because this is one of our first things that we've launched with Amazon, with a full suite of Dolby technologies. Dolby Digital Plus is what we brand it, and it's really about this end-to-end experience, both from the content. So Amazon's shipping great content to the device. It's actually, they're shipping the same content to the Kindle Fire HD that you can get in your home with Amazon Instant Video. So this blurred line is becoming even greater in our day-to-day experiences. You're no longer thinking about, well, I'm on my mobile device, so I expect less quality. Or I'm in my home, so I expect more. It's really about being a consumer, and now that we've gotten through this ability, this convenience wave, we now expect that quality to be there as well. The interesting thing about Dolby too is that we work with the entire entertainment ecosystem. So one of our major focuses is actually with content creators. And whether it's with technology providers in that space, or guys like Dave Boyle, who's talking about great entertainment, we're right there with them, utilizing technology to provide these amazing immersive entertainment experiences on all devices. And there's one more interesting data point here, and specifically in the mobile space, I think it's something that you should be very aware of, this community should be, is that as you provide an audio-video experience, again, whether it's streaming video, short form, long form, whether it's a mobile game, as you provide a better audio experience, you actually make the consumer perceive a better video experience. So this is a really interesting thing to think about, and it starts making you think about, it's not about my video quality or my audio data rate that I'm sending, it's really about this QoE, quality of experience. And how do you combine those things to provide the best-in-class experience for your consumer by also utilizing bandwidth and data rates? And as you start thinking of audio and video as this thing that works together, you actually can start providing some pretty amazing experiences at very low bandwidth. So this is also a very exciting thing, we think, and this is a piece of research that we're continuing to work on. And we're actually talking a lot to major operators, to major OEMs providing devices out there today. So this is something that, as a developer, my colleague Simon will talk a little bit about the developer program that we're reaching out to that community on, is how do we help you to build better experiences?
Do we have access to each part of the year? We need to react to the devices that we're building ourselves as well.
Oh, this is a great question. So I got a question already. Sorry, I didn't realize that was a Q&A. This is good, I don't mind it. So the question was, do you have access to hardware developers? So the answer is Dolby is a software company. Now that being said, we, and Simon will talk a little bit about some of the expertise and some of the engagement that they do want to support on the app developer program. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Dolby wants to enhance and move the industry forward. So I will tell you this, wherever we can help, we will help. That's kind of part of who we are as a company, actually. That's a great question. All right, so you can just raise your hands if you got anything. That's cool. Mandy's laughing at me because she knows I roll with it. That's cool. So as you think about your mobile experiences, as you think about what you're going to provide your consumers, think about this next generation audio experience. Think about why would you not provide surround sound on everything that you can? The reality of it is that the primary usage model in mobile is headphones, is you can get an amazing immersive experience on these headphones. Utilize the technology that are on these devices and really make sure you're delivering that. You'd be surprised how amazing, and I really encourage you, by the way, to please go back to the table and get some demos. Just listen to it yourself and test it out. But it's really about providing that next generation audio experience. And then it's going to be important as these experiences, these lines blur between your home and your mobile experience, that those same high quality HD audio formats are supported. And this is again something you're seeing across the line in multiple operating systems and multiple devices, really making sure that they can support all the different formats that a consumer's going to want to have. Just as you would in your living room, you expect everything kind of to just play. Well, we're getting the same way on our mobile devices. And then it's about this compatibility. So not only do we have this expectation of amazing experiences across living room devices like Blu-ray to the mobile devices, but we also have this really consistent and really seamless interaction now between our mobile devices acting as servers ultimately for our large screen or our living room devices. And that's around really providing things like AirPlay, supporting things like this, Wi-Fi Alliance. These types of activities are going to be important for your consumers. They want to be able to serve up the content to a larger room on their big screen television and frankly share that content in a very easy and seamless way. And there's another thing here, and there's one more point, so don't worry, I'm almost done. It's really important to realize that not all audio should be treated the same way. And you can think about this in your own life. How do you expect to experience music? How do you expect to experience a dramatic movie? How do you expect to experience a fight scene in something? What does a voice call look like? What is a game? How should that sound, and how should that be represented to a consumer? This is something that Dolby actually has 45 years of research and technology in. We actually really try to understand how our consumer is going to perceive the experience, because hearing is very perceptual. It's not just about what comes in, it's how you're perceiving that experience. So really think, like, not, whatever the experience is you're trying to create for that mobile consumer, really be consistent and cognizant of the idea that this audio should be treated differently. It should be managed differently depending on the content. And then, finally for us, we've been doing this for a long time. We've engaged with content creators from Hollywood, Bollywood. We've engaged with tool manufacturers, encoding professionals for major CDNs. We work very closely with major service operators like Netflix and Vudu, Amazon Instant Video. And then we've really been focusing on creating wonderful experiences on those end devices. And as you can see from the marketplace, people are really starting to talk about audio and mobile. It's really becoming just way more than a noise level conversation. It's starting to hit peak and to hit that kind of point where consumers want to have a conversation about it. So we now want to take this one step further and really engage with this application development team, application development community, not only to talk about the technology and to share that with you, but to get your feedback as well. And this is to us another part of us building out this ecosystem, and again, really about creating really phenomenal, magical experiences for consumers from end to end in the mobile space. So I want to thank you guys for your brief attention. And I'm going to hand it over to my colleague, Simon Walker, and thank you again to the Mobile Monday team. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so this was the best image that I've ever seen as a young child about why audio mattered to me. The guy sitting there basically blown away by amazing audio. And it's really how we move that now into the mobile space, and what is Dolby going to do to help that. So basically, I joined Dolby about 8 months ago. I've been working in developer relations for a while for an OEM, as well as actually working in the App Store space. And Dolby approached me and asked me if we could look at doing a developer program for Dolby around audio, because audio was becoming important in their mind in the industry, specifically in the app space. And so I said, yeah, absolutely, I'll come along and see what we can do and how we can outreach to developers and get them engaged on things that we're working on. But historically, through my work, I actually saw that most of the time developers have got so many things going on in the world that audio is a piece of the puzzle, but for the most part it's quite way down the list. Most of the time they're working out business models, what app stores to go to, what platforms to develop for, what big screens can they work for, the processing power of the devices they're actually looking at. And so audio wasn't necessarily at the top of their list back in the day, and probably most recently around how they can develop applications. And mainly that was also due to the fact there were device limitations. So mono speakers on devices, and also the consumer marketing. Most consumers go and look at what the CPU processor is that's running on the device, what the frame rates are, maybe what the pixels are, the megapixels. So as part of the actual HD experience, audio wasn't necessarily part of the messaging to consumers. They didn't actually know to look for it. And that's actually looking to change at this time. So as Mary mentioned, there are a bunch of things we're doing at Dolby around Kindle Fire HD. And actually, on the Kindle Fire HD specifically, we've actually done some tuning on the speakers and actually made a fantastic proposition for consumers. And if you go and look at Amazon's actual website, you'll see the reviews are really stunning. They love the audio experience, they love the sound components of the device. But not only is that great for us at Dolby and also great at Amazon, but also we want to extend that. So not just allowing that capability to be given to the consumer, but what can we open up on those devices to give to the developers so they can further their applications on those products. Most importantly, I think the market's realising that with these devices now, 7-inch and 9-inch devices, the experiences offer up a really great, lucrative experience for those developers that want to take a stab at building out applications that use these technologies. So really, from my point of view, as I said, audio hasn't been part of the makeup for an application, but really when you start to layer that on top of the application, it's a fantastic opportunity to really reach the consumer. And there's a lot of brands out there, a lot of companies, especially in the music business, that want to reach their fans, they want to have direct access, and they want to give them the best experience possible. And so these sorts of components on the device, as well as the technology that we have, can actually enable them to do that. And it's not just marketing fluff. Research at the lab, as Mary's mentioned, actually has provided capabilities and discussion points at Mobile World Congress around how audio is important, and how when you actually bring audio up to a level that the consumer recognises and understands, it's a fantastic experience on the content. This is not just marketing. There's actually one piece I had is that the main research that was working on this was Poppy Crump from Dolby, and if you want to look at her work, there's a piece in Venture Beat that she did recently that explained what we're doing in this area in terms of research. So for us, we feel that the conditions are right for growth in this particular area, and so we wanted to look at how can we outreach the developers. So part of the challenge really on the app stores is that they're merchandising now, we're actually doing a curation model. Back in the day, curation wasn't really a term that was used, and now it is. So they want to actually elevate the higher quality applications up on the food chain to their consumers. And one of the ways that we want to express how applications are using audio in the best way possible is to use our brand. So we have a logo program that's going to be associated with the developer program, as well as the technology. So when the consumer goes to the App Store, they can actually see that Dolby is part of that offering, and therefore can recognise its audio components of high quality to the consumer. We've actually been doing a pilot with a couple of companies recently. One is called Infuse, that launched I think on Tuesday on the iOS store and had a really great hit actually. They were I think in the top 50 for all paid applications on iOS. And they were using Dolby logo and Dolby technology, and they've integrated that into our application. We want to further that now into other areas, other categories. So we sort of soft launched the developer program probably about 3 weeks ago now. And on that site, you can basically find information about what we're going to do in this space in terms of APIs and capabilities. But also we're actually looking at how we can make access, available access to technologies that we're working on right now in the labs. One of those technologies is actually here today in terms of the demo that we're running, which is in the gaming space. We actually have a Kindle Fire HD. We've actually started to build a Unity plugin that really enhances what the gaming proposition can be on that device, and it's really stunning. Every developer that we've shown from the gaming space has really been impressed with how that audio quality comes across on that device. So that's our first sort of step on the ladder. There'll be more things coming from us soon. So if you want to find myself, Laurie or Spencer from Dolby who are here today, we can show you that demo. So that's actually the end of my presentation. So I'd like to invite Gracenote up.
Hi everyone, Ching-Wei Chen from Gracenote. I'm very excited to be here at Mobile Monday. Just a few slides on who we are. I don't know if you know who Gracenote is. We are based in Emeryville, just over the bridge. We have about 300 people around the globe. Well, yeah, that's all I need to know. We have three main business verticals we play in, not just the music space. We're probably most famous for being the CD database, CDDB, back in the day. But since then we've grown to identifying more than just CDs, but also digital files and streaming audio from your mobile phone. But we've also expanded into the video space. And we do a lot of things in TV, like EPG guides, as well as content recognition. And we have an automotive business vertical, so adding features and functionality to music in cars, which is still one of the largest places that you consume music. Some numbers that marketing maybe put in, I'll just skip over it, but millions and billions of people use Gracenote to identify their music and video. So, why audio matters? Well, audio and music is everywhere. It's all around us. Even when it's not obvious. It's at the coffee shop, it's on the ride home, and it's on your computer, it's on your mobile phone. So everybody has it, everybody loves listening to music. We have an unprecedented amount of it with streaming services and with cloud blockers and everything. So we have all the music everywhere, all the time, anytime. And there's a whole world of experience that can be opened up from the music. And that's what Gracenote tries to do. So our core technology is called Music ID, and that recognizes whatever music it is that you have, whether it's something you have, whether it's a CD you put in your computer or whether it's something you're listening to on the radio. Once we know what that song is, we can unlock all this other cool stuff around it. We can give you images, we can give you metadata, we can give you links to buy it and listen to it. So cover art and artist images is one thing that we provide. And I mean, if you're building a mobile app, you can't get anywhere with just lists and scrolling lists of tracks and scrolling lists of albums. You have to have a visual experience. So cover art and artist images are key. On the scripted metadata side, there's so many types of music, and we have a strong editorial team that actually goes. We have a fingerprinting technology, which is basically listens to the audio and extracts some sort of does signal processing and extracts some information about what that song, what the audio sounds like, and then it looks up in our database, and we tell you exactly what song it is. And once we tell you what song it is, then we can also deliver all those other things I was telling you about, the images and the metadata, and that's what you can build, sort of distinctive mobile features around. We also provide ways to navigate and discover music. And so by using different dimensions of metadata like genre, mood, really giving people more ways to access their music rather than just choosing an artist or choosing a track. So I'm going to list a couple of apps that are already using Gracenote technologies. One of them is called How to Music. You can download this today. Basically, it uses our Music ID to identify the songs that are on your mobile device, and then it uses our mood metadata, actually maps it out for you. This kind of cool honeycomb or bug eye kind of visualization of where your music actually lies. And then you can just click on one of these little dots and you have a mood-based playlist. So you don't have to worry about picking one artist or picking one album. You can say, yeah, I'm kind of, I'm down, give me a melancholy playlist. And it's one click and the music starts playing. There's another app called Music Match, and that's using our Music ID Stream, it's called. It's a technology that lets you hold up your phone and identify something that you're hearing kind of over the air. And what Music Match does there is once it identifies it, it adds lyrics to it, and it has lyrics not only at the whole song level, but actually can have it timed down to the second. So when you play back the song, they actually scroll the words along with you, which is pretty cool. Rhapsody has an app called Song Match, and this is a way to use our Music ID technology. You hear a song, you're out somewhere, you don't know what it is. Hey, here's the song, and then let me add it to my favorites. So I, later on when I go home, or I can listen to it again. There's another app called Soundtracking, which is a whole social music experience where you can tag what song you're listening to, and if it's something really special you want to share with your friends, you can give it a little 140 characters. Share it with your friends and build a social network around it. You can follow people, so this is a way to they call it sharing the soundtrack to your life. So all of those were built using Gracenote's identification technology. Now I did mention that we have some video stuff too. What we have is called Gracenote Entourage. It's automatic content recognition. And it uses the same audio fingerprinting technology to identify what you're watching on TV. So if you're sitting at home with your iPad, you've got your TV going, it actually listens to the audio and looks up our database. And it tells you, hey, you're watching Rose Engagement. And once you're in there, we can deliver all the other, cool stuff like images and the synopsis, the plot, the casting crew, and everything like that. There's another app called Sci-Fi Sync. It's for a TV network called Sci-Fi, and for certain programs, they actually, they listen in to see where you are in the program, and they can actually deliver sort of interactive metadata time with the show. And ZBox is another app that's out there. It's a TV companion app, and same thing. You're watching TV, and it tells you everything about the show you're watching. So that's basically it. We have a developer program at developer.gracenote.com, and we'd love to get mobile developers trying out our stuff. I think hopefully I've explained what we can do, and that's the site, and we're also hiring. Thank you very much.
All right, great presentation. Now I'd like to have Peter Drescher come up.
Hello. Good evening, my name is Peter Drescher, and I am the annoying audio guy, also very cold in Berlin. I've been making annoying sounds for games on a variety of platforms since 1992. The first mobile game I ever worked on was Rockin' Rockets for the T-Mobile Sidekick in 2002. It featured interactive MIDI music remixed based on gameplay variables and a single 8-bit 11K IMA 4:1 compressed explosion sound, varied by pitch per asteroid. It was designed to play on very small speakers and used only 60K of data for the entire soundtrack. In 2010, let me down a little bit, I demonstrated how to implement the Rockin' Rockets soundtrack using Fmod audio middleware. First, I converted the original MIDI data to 8 digital audio files, all cut to the same length in Pro Tools. I then converted those to .ogg files, which loop seamlessly in Fmod, and started all 8 tracks playing at once. Muting and unmuting the channels creates the various mixes of the original game soundtrack. So last year, I wrote and published Bang Bang SFX for iOS, a target practice game that uses Fmod to generate a wide variety of explosion sounds. The app contains many original recordings of things that go bang, including balloons popping, nitrogen triiodide explosions, quasi-legal fireworks, dry ice bombs, and hydrogen gas combustion. It also produces a variety of weapons fire and other sound effects. This app serves to prove a point. Mobile developers can use the same audio production tools as console developers. Given the state of the art, there's no reason why your iPhone game shouldn't sound as good as a PC game. And yet many still don't, producing instead repetitive, annoying soundtracks. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Mobile games tend to be short little time killers, not epic adventures. You play them for minutes, not days. And you can hit the mute button when inevitably the sound becomes annoying due to repetition. Some of my colleagues might consider this blasphemy, but it's true nonetheless. Sometimes you want the game to sound annoying. Pac-Man is a classic example of a game that works in part because of the irritating wacka-wacka sound effects. Sometimes the developer neither knows nor cares whether the app sounds annoying or not. And that's when the app contains any sound at all, when you're silent. But mobile technology has come so far in the past decade that the iPhone in my pocket is a couple of orders of magnitude more powerful than my first Pro Tools rig. And the audio-centric apps like sound effects generators, digital audio recorders, and multi-touch musical instruments are plentiful. Overall, sound quality of mobile devices is improving as well. There are now software solutions to common mobile audio problems that used to require chip-level firmware to perform. High-bandwidth media streams can now be processed to enhance volume and dialogue levels, and many users wearing Beats-style studio cams, high-resolution output is considered standard. So, your mobile game had better sound good, and there are lots of ways to make it sound even better. Of course, that's not to say it won't still sound annoying, it'll just be more clearly annoying than ever before. Thank you.
Okay, now I'd like to invite our partner from SoundHound to come on up. She's going to do a demo.
Thank you, Brandon, and to the whole Mobile Mondays team. A lot of work goes into doing this, so hats off. And Maggie, thank you for pulling today's theme together, and Dolby for kicking off a very interesting theme in general about audio. Let's get thinking about how audio is part of this whole experience in this world of mobile computing. So my name is Katie McMahon. I actually probably have one of the longest spanning roles in audio recognition across mobile and have been in it for close to a decade. I spent 6 years building up Shazam and launching them on the iPhone to get that inflection point uploaded to hundreds of millions of users. And 3 years ago, the team at SoundHound Inc., then known as Melodis, with a product called Madomi, was very intriguing due to the level of engineering expertise that's really the DNA of the company. And within the portfolio of technology sitting inside of SoundHound Inc., I was very intrigued with the potentials of how this company can really become a player in this going to be epic decade plus of mobile computing, where audio and sound around us really becomes something we'd never even imagined in terms of its utility, its interactability, and how rich that becomes in your world. So today, I'm just going to hit on a couple points, but I start off with a visual of cover shot of the iconic New Yorker from 2005, October 2005. And I bring us back to this because that screenshot was just when, in the West at least, this concept of a camera phone was unfolding, right? J-Phone out in Japan in 2000 was the first to put camera device on a flip phone. I'll never forget, I was working in Tokyo at the time. I was sitting in an Irish pub enjoying a pint with some friends, and in the corner suddenly I saw this cute Japanese couple go, and I thought, what was that? Think back. Back then in the US, we were still unable to dial on a mobile device through different operators coast to coast. Japan was the future, Korea was right there at its heels, and there in the moment you see someone take a photograph. Today, a device doesn't ship without that component in it. And I say all this because that is the obvious, it's the visual reality of mobile devices. And look at all the companies that have become wildly successful. Visual is so obvious to the success of this whole new world, the palm of your hand, seeing things, a second screen experience, etc. So I put this up here actually just to dovetail us into what will that iconic cover screen look like, the cover art of the New Yorker look like once all of us in the room who are presenting that are in some way part of an audio revolution inside of mobile. What will that look like? All right, but what can we discuss about SoundHound that's relevant to the topic? So why does audio matter? And in some ways it's interesting because the clever solutions inside of SoundHound's smarts is how to make sense of sound and noise when its fidelity might not be great. So let's break it down in terms of audio quality. There's a realm of consumption, and I think our opening talk on what Dolby presented in terms of an experience, that just hits the core of consuming and what that does. For SoundHound, we lean more towards recognition. What does that audio convert into? What does it mean? How do we decode it? And then how is it relevant to you? So our focus at SoundHound is mostly around the realm of recognition. Let's break that down even further. So what types of recognition can we talk about in that zone of audio capture? Right now, if we're very quiet, I hear a little hum and a buzz over there. If the latte machine zoomed up, you'd hear that, you'd automatically know what it is, but maybe in your brain you're even filtering it out. So audio recognition tries to identify audio that's often being played in the background, but in a noisy, real-world environment, we have to figure out what are we looking for and what do we have to get rid of. So if you've ever SoundHounded a song when you're in a cafe or in a club, or even at home watching a film but having other noise around, you might wonder, will that recognition moment work? And the magic of our algorithms and the trickery that we're doing behind the scenes is figuring out what noise to get rid of, what audio sample we want to hone into and match against our database. So that's that audio recognition. Think about that in terms of a recorded music sample. And why don't I just get that as an example for real? Oopla. Okay, so an example of let's do a little ode to San Francisco since we're here. Right, this is playing. So I fire open SoundHound. Boom, that's audio recognition. With a nice little, no, I won't sing that one, but you're going to lead us on to the next scenario. It's nice that goes into live lyrics as well, which is a brilliant feature that our team added. There's a gentleman in the audience who was very much responsible for making that a hallmark feature inside of SoundHound. Okay, now that was SoundHounding songs, and we have 135 million users around the world. This is a seriously downloaded app. It gets used heavily for that use case. The other magic, though, is when somebody has a song stuck in their head and they say, oh, you know, that song goes like this. What's it called? I don't know. Let's find out the lyrics. Get SoundHound out and see if we can do a sing hum recognition. And so this is where I'm talking about humming recognition. I'll talk about speech later, but sing hum. SoundHound is really the world's only at-scale company that can do this type of audio recognition off of someone's input. I'm rubbish at demoing this, so I thought I'd ask Turner, the mule from Smule, to come up and do it properly. So he knows how to do this, and he's gonna just pick a song, and Elmo would be good. Let's get a demo going.
All right, this one's for you. It's my favorite song of all time. I'll sing it to you. Katie, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. Right now I'm looking at you and it's hard to tell. You don't know, you're beautiful. If only you saw what I can see, you'd understand what I mean to. So, okay. Whoa, that just rocked. Thank you. So right there, I mean, he nailed that. That didn't even come out with options. When I tried to sing Hey Jude, it's like, okay, here are a couple options. We think it's Hey Jude, but Katie, that was really bad. But he just nailed it. It came up right away. Right? I can be listening to the sound sample. I can. Fantastic. Yes. So, but the magic on a scientific level here for that very experience is the inputs are different, right? So back then we have to process these sound signals differently. They have to hit against different databases. All that challenge is actually what fires up our engineers to figure out how to make this process super fast, super accurate, and then the brilliant UI in front of it is that delightful experience. But to do this in a single button, I just want to showcase the very fact that on the orange button in SoundHound, you can either hold your phone out, record music, got my answer, I can share that discovery to a friend, I can bookmark, I can buy it, I can get the lyrics, I can play. Or you pull it out on your tablet or iPad on a Friday night, some friends are around, and you end up making a game by saying, hey Turner, give it a song, let's see if SoundHound can match. And that sing hum recognition is happening through the orange button. It's a huge challenge, and I think some of the engineers in the room would understand that through that one layer, what lies beneath. So I often think about, if you peel the orange button and have to understand the complexity of that query classification, we call it a query classifier. It's a non-trivial scenario, so it's something that we're really proud of handling that audio in different ways, so the end user doesn't need to be bothered by it. You can do 2 different types of inputs into it and get a great result. So, let me just show you one last thing, because SoundHound Inc. as a company really believes that all sound around you is important. Right now, we're most known for the app called SoundHound. It's super fast music recognition, it's music search, it's share, you can see videos right away, it's a rich, rich app. In the future, I think we are going to be interacting with our mobile devices very, very frequently with the sound of your own voice. So it's the air out of your lungs that's really going to make our interactivity with these devices shape-shifting. Right now we're saying, we're still in essence Googling on a device. In the future, you're going to speak and speak very naturally. So we already know the products that are out there in the market that have put a stake out and said, here, let's go forward and start speaking into it. Whether you think it's a fast and delightful and accurate experience, maybe a lot to be desired. To show, if I can just give you a sneak peek, this feature is live, and not too many of our users know about it. It's a little bit more hidden. It's the search functionality. So I can type in anything. So if I'm in a classroom or if I'm in a really crowded room and want to search for lyrics or an artist, I can type it right in, and this is SoundHound's own search technology will pull it up really fast for you. But you can also speak your query. You can name the artist or the track and the artist and try to pull it up very fast. So I got it from My Mama by will.i.am. Just make that not work with feedback. Boom. That is the world's fastest voice search and then vertical of music. Instantly, in that one moment, I pulled up the song, I've got the lyrics.
Oh, she could be a model, so beautiful, also natural. She fucked up, but she still looks sweet. You can tell her to hate.
So again, I'm just showcasing that if you're going to a concert and you don't even know any of the songs, you can quickly just search and snack and listen for a few previews. So the foray into the future of where audio is important to us in general, I'll leave us with one visual and an evolution of interaction of sound and audio in the mobile computing era. Thanks very much, everybody. SoundHound is actively hiring. We love the brightest developers, great thinkers, and spirited people for our team. Come talk to me. Thank you.
All right, so now I'd like to invite our partner from Smule to come over. He's going to be our second to last presenter, so great job on the demo, by the way.
What's up, everybody? Hello, Mondays. Let me talk to you. I got something to say. I'm the mule here from Smule. I'm gonna give a speech, and I hope you think it's cool. I'm gonna give you a speech.
All right, this one? Oh, guess I do need the mic after all. Thank you, sir.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was just using that because I needed a little auto-tune. I can't sing that well. All right, so I guess that's 80. All right. So, Smule, we share a lot of the same, I guess, philosophies as everyone here. Ching-Wei and Gracenote mentioned that just, music and everything is, music is just an innate thing that people want to do. We use the same audio codec, Orbis, as the annoying audio guy, and then we also, built our company on the fact that we believe everybody wants to do things musical, just like SoundHound. Anyways, I think that before I start, I'd just like to engage all of you in a very social and somewhat musical, visceral way. So, if you guys are into it, let's all take a real big deep breath together. I see you, I want to hear you. So ready, on the count of 3, we'll all sit up straight, take a big deep breath, and then let it out. So 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so Smule, we make mobile music creation experiences. That's what I like to call them anyways. And today I'm going to tell you a little about the audio quality woes of our music app development. It's going to be a little technical heavy, so don't fall asleep. First of all, what do we make? Well, we make 2 types of social music apps. The first type is the mobile touch-based instruments like Magic Piano, Ocarina. Basically, you touch the screen and create music that's generated, the audio is synthesized on the device at the time you touch it. Then we also make some karaoke vocal style apps, and all of our apps are social and musical at the same time, meaning in some cases you can even collaborate with other people. Our original iteration of Magic Piano allows you to play a song with someone across the world. You could play a little bit and you could hear what they were playing as well, but now out of real time we have karaoke apps that allow you to sing songs with other people and share those around the world. So, what kinds of issues do we run into? Well, there's the obvious issue of file size versus quality. No big deal, NBD. At this point, we've got pretty good networks, we've got pretty blazing fast Wi-Fi and all that jazz. So not so much of a big deal. Never was too big of a deal on our touch-based apps because you're just uploading the performance data, just the touches and things, not actually the audio, and then resynthesizing it on the device.
For the singing apps, it causes issues when you're trying to download or upload. I'm sure you've all been sitting there trying to download or upload a song. So we have those problems, but you know, less and less an issue. With our video app, it's a bigger issue because it's video, bigger file sizes. And then the most notable thing is on our servers, it takes up a lot of space, costs a lot of money, so how can we minimize that? The original gangsta issue on mobile was and always has been, and probably always will be, latency. Well, we'll see. But latency meaning you touch a device and a moment later you hear the song. So it makes it really hard to play. Maybe some of you have tried to sing a song with someone while Skyping, and you'll find that it does not work. Well, at least not very well anyways. So the same thing happens, just having a solo singing experience. If you sing and you hear your voice more than 50 milliseconds later, it will cause a problem. You might not know exactly what that problem is. You'll just be like, oh, I don't sound the same, or it sounds weird, or whatever. And that's most of our users' experience. They don't know what to call it, but they think it sounds bad, and then that lowers the number of uploads that we get. And we want more uploads, believe it or not. We want them to share as much music as possible. So yeah, it sounds bad. So I'm going to take you on a quick little journey of one Smulean voice, the time someone sings a song till the time they listen to it or send it to someone else or get someone else to sing on the song with them, just as a quick example, and sort of keep this in the context of what can go wrong or sound bad or whatever. So I have a nice little diagram here. Someone sings on the microphone while provided with the karaoke lyrics that they just downloaded, and the audio track is playing, and they get a display of what pitches they should sing even. So they have a lot of help. And because, at Smule we believe everyone's innately creative and want to express themselves creatively, and we just want to unlock their creative potential by making it as easy as possible. So that's what this is all about. We have some filters they can choose from up there, anything from normal to pop star to indie sounding, so it'll make it distorted a little bit. These filters, just like Instagram or whatever, change your sound and make you sound cooler or weird or whatever you want. So yeah, people sing the song, their vocal file is recorded to the disc without any effects applied to it. We save their effects preset in another file, and then we run their voice through pitch recognition and display what their pitch is actually doing in, tandem with the actual pitches they're supposed to sing. So there's a lot of processing going on in between the time they sing the song, hear it back, and see it on the screen. So that's all latency issues that can happen. Got it pretty well ironed out on iOS. Android, unfortunately, has not come around yet. We can't do this on Android yet. Although we do have this app on Android, you just can't real-time monitor your voice. So then we upload it. We upload the preset separately, and then there's the aux Vorbis format that the annoying audio guy uses as well. Beautiful sounding app, by the way. That was really, really cool sounding. That's mono 22 kilohertz for the nerds out there. That goes to our server cloud, and then it goes into our server renderer queue. So you have the effects. It tells the server, apply these effects to your vocals. I have a list of vocals, 1, 2, 3, because you can have up to a million singers singing on a song. And then we add that with the background audio track, which is AAC 96 kilobits per second, high quality audio, high enough quality that is. And we turn that into an FFmpeg, AAC 128 kilobits per second stereo file, and that is where we can save a lot of money. If we could get that down to 96 kilobits per second using a better codec, hint, 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 maybe we could save some money, save everybody some time, make the world a better place. And on playback, this is the fun part. We get to share it with people, collaborate with people, have a great time. You've got two places, well, multiple places you can do that. You can do it on the web, smule.com, or share it on Facebook, Twitter, text message, you name it. Whatever's next, the next big thing, we'll jump on it, Tumblr maybe even. And then you can listen to it in the application. You can see there's a cool globe mechanic here. You can search the globe just by spinning the globe around and tapping on people and finding people to sing with and interact with musically. And then there's what it looks like when you're just playing the song. And then the most nerdy part of the presentation, I've kind of already gone through this, but the takeaway here is on the server, what that server rendering block was doing is essentially we got the background audio, which has to be decoded to wave, and then the vocal audio that we uploaded in the octave orbis format was decoded to wave. Then we combined those with the effects preset option, and this is where all of the problems can occur with the audio quality. Like, if we get the dynamic compression wrong, if we mess up the EQ, the effects, panning, well, that helps things usually, and then we didn't have a limiter on it for a long time, so we would get some pretty nasty distorted audio, like if someone was really going for it, singing their song, didn't sound so hot. So we've slowly been iterating on the audio quality, making these things sound better, making people more enjoyable, and yeah, so there's lots of quality issues there. We're hopefully ironing that out. And then the other final thing I'd like to mention is it takes time. From the time that someone sings this song, they upload it, they send it to a friend, and they want to hear it immediately. But it's not that easy because we have to do all of that stuff before it's available for them to then re-download back to their device and listen to, or send to other people. So you have 10 to 20 seconds where it's rendering this and then encoding it AAC, which is a little lower quality than Wave. That takes another 3 to 4 seconds. If we can optimize things there, then we will do a lot better, make the experience better, everyone's happy. And yeah, finally, we drop it out to the 128 kilobits per second FFmpeg, and that's what people pull down from the cloud. Into the app, into Facebook, from the server, etc., etc. Yeah, so that's a little bit of what we do at Smule, the quick version. Oh, question?
That original 32K mono upload from the local, is that raw or is that compressed, and what's the difference?
Okay, yeah. Question is the original. There it is. That guy that goes from disk gets uploaded. The original 22 kilohertz. He was asking if it's compressed. Do you mean like dynamic compression, like limiting? Yeah. So we initially just left it how it was. So if there was distortion happening on the device, that would get recorded to file, and we'd upload that distorted file. It sounded like crap, and that happened a lot. And fortunately, the mechanism was fun enough that people were able to overlook that. So sometimes audio quality issues aren't terrible, but you know, if we don't update our apps, then people will be like, well, this still sounds like crap, never using it again. But yeah, so now we are starting to compress it, but it is the raw audio track with maybe minimal compression put on it, some limiting. But yeah, the effects, we don't add the effects to it. We just send to the server a thing that says, use this effect. And so yeah, we have had problems where we've said, use this effect, and it uses a different one, and then it sounds really weird.
What sort of size wins per minute of recording
Oh, okay, yeah, size, asking for size. Well, I mean, let's see, most songs are like 3.5 minutes, 22 kilohertz. I think that generally it's like 2 to 3 megabytes. So pretty big. Yeah, just, I think, well, the vocal's probably more like 2, maybe a little less than 2. But yeah, the overall file at the end of everything is like 3, so maybe 1.5 megabytes. Not too big, but kind of, you know, when we started doing all this, you know, back at the beginning of the App Store, our first app, T-Pain, that did most of this stuff, we had to really optimize for that because, you know, 3G network was barely even around and it was slow. So yeah, I saw another hand, maybe. Nope. Okay. Well, I'm the mule from Smule, and you have, oops, I just screwed that up. You've all officially been Smule today, so thank you. Okay, so we have our last presenter, and certainly last but not least, Chris from Ovelin.
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity to talk here. I think we have already seen quite a lot of interesting things actually that kind of helps me to get much faster into the topic. So we are also a company that deals with the input of the audio, and in our case we use these guys. For those of you who are old enough, you might remember them. They are called guitars. And that's really the point. So what we are doing is we have this audio technology that is able to do in real time or almost real time to analyze chords, notes that you play, rhythms that you play, and then we can actually on top of that technology we can build a game, so a whole gamification layer. And usually I talk much more from the problems perspective, but here it's more about the audio now. But at least those of you who have started playing instrument, you probably remember, I mean most people actually quit very early in learning to play an instrument because in the beginning it's kind of boring. You do a lot of repetitive stuff, you think you're not getting any better, people lose the motivation and quit. And then they go and play Guitar Hero. And that's what pretty much me and my co-founder did. At the time, so we were like, okay, let's make Guitar Hero for real guitar. And I quickly demo you a small part of the game so you understand what I'm actually talking about. It's over. So, I mean, this is just a normal laptop or a normal mobile device, so you don't need any special adapter equipment. This is just a normal acoustic guitar. If you have an electric one, you can plug it in, but you don't have to. So I choose my demo song here. See if we get some audio out. We have audio on this. It's just fine. That's how it works. So you see, if I play the notes to the device, that the blocks turn green. If I don't play anything, they turn red. And then on top left, you can also see if I have timing issues. So it can very accurately tell you every time you play the right note at the right time. So this is very basic exercises. This shouldn't have happened. Okay, well, I'm really sorry now about this, but it probably takes too much time to log me in here. So I'm at least online. Okay, so what it is now, you see this is actually a browser-based game, so you can play directly in your web browser. It uses the Unity plugin. And well, I will let it start now. At least I wanted to show you the bit more advanced levels as well. But in the meantime, I can actually come and talk a bit about the audio technology. So we have a few things that we have already touched upon, and the one is the latency issue. That's really a big thing, especially in instrument playing. For those of you who have tried it, if you plug in an electric guitar, the little latency that you're getting from plugging the string to actually hearing the sound is getting really annoying. It's really frustrating, and it's just, as the presenter said before, you can't really pinpoint it, you just think it doesn't sound right. For those like Marshall and those ones who make these amps for electric guitars, I mean that's what they were really good at, like minimizing this latency, or it feels actually real time. So that's one of the things we are doing. I mean, we are avoiding that mostly by not actually using the computer to amplify what you play. You just play it as you hear it out of the instrument. If you have an electric guitar, you can split the signal. You can put all the distortion you want into the amp, so it sounds really crazy. Whereas the undistorted signal goes actually into the machine and it can analyze it what you play. So that was one of the issues. Then the other thing is that's why I was hoping the audio comes actually out of it. The crosstalk cancellation. So when you have a background song playing along, it's obviously going to be so that it's also in the same kind of pitch that you're actually playing, because otherwise it sounds off. But then of course for us the difficulty was really like, how does the game now know that it's not the background track, but it's actually you playing? In other words, like how do we make it so that the game doesn't just play itself? And that's one quite difficult approach, especially when we talk about the audio systems that are so different. And I think that's one of the biggest problems we had for a long time. I mean, almost every device has a different combination of speakers and microphones, different qualities, different latencies. Then if you want to play this game at home, you can also hook it up to your Dolby surround system, so it sounds really cool, but of course the latencies are going to be different then as well. And that's really something that at least we have been struggling for quite a long time to, maybe I just quit the demo. For those of you who want to see the hard levels, you can meet me afterwards. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about this. So I believe as well as the other presenter said that interacting with the device much more naturally can really become a big thing in the future. I mean, we can put a guitar teacher in your pocket, and not only that, I mean, the teacher, it is more accurate. It has a much more, it can tell you very well what you played wrong. We can reverse engineer some of the typical mistakes users do. We can actually hear that you're holding the guitar wrong. And that's of course something that is just starting now, and that's pretty much our goal. And then on top of that, what we can do, of course, what most of the games are doing very well, we can get people actually hooked onto the game, and of course that's our goal as well. We want to get people hooked, with the big difference, of course, that when you get hooked to our game, eventually you learn to play the guitar. So yeah, I think I put a lot of guitar picks out there for those of you who want to try it out. Then you can play it for free on guitarbox.com with a real guitar. There's about 300 levels. Level number 1 is so easy, anyone who has never even touched a guitar before can play it. And level number 300 is then quite advanced, so even the better guitar players are having a hard time. Yep.
So that concludes our event, you guys. I want to thank again our partners at Dolby, Adobe, and all the presenters who came out. We couldn't have done it without you, so big round of applause for all you folks who came out and presented. Again, we have a event next Monday, which Jose discussed. And then a big reminder, as you leave, please put your business card in the fishbowl back there at the Dolby table, because they're going to be drawing tonight for the winners, and they'll contact whoever wins the free Kindle Fire HDs. So make sure to drop your business card for that, and stick around and network if you want for a few more minutes, but thanks for coming out, you guys, and hope you enjoyed the event.
That's really awesome, man.